Good morning, people. Welcome to the Black Pill Radio Show. I'm your host, Mr. Tyler, and today we have a very interesting topic. We are going to be talking about black hair and the hair care industry and what that means to us as black people in terms of our finances, the images that we see when we think about black beauty, black hair, and why is that so important to black women. I'm going to have the ladies introduce themselves first, and then we'll get right into it, and we're going to start with the young lady to my left.
All right, I am Bonita Abaca. I was raised in Jersey, born in Brooklyn, grew up in Maplewood. Went from Montclair to Maplewood to Hartford to Philly, then back to Jersey. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I've been licensed since 2011, and I'm based in Maplewood, but I also have a chair in the city.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Rhonda Hurst. I'm from Hartford, Connecticut. I'm a licensed cosmetologist for about 24 years, and I love it.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ashley Lee. I am a licensed cosmetologist as well. I work in Midtown Manhattan at LW Salon, and I'm also an artist and educator for Mazzani.
I'm Marie Tabayati. I'm a Curls brand ambassador, motivational speaker, and author.
All right, ladies, so we're going to get right into this, and we want to talk about black hair, right? So I have a very vague question for you guys, and that is, when we think about black hair, what does that mean to you? And you can answer that any way you choose, but what does black hair mean to you?
Black hair, to me, black hair is it's a statement. Like when you see an afro, a lot of different thoughts and opinions come to mind. Some people are in awe of it. Some people are disgusted by it. People are also curious. People of all races want to touch your hair. They might be surprised, oh, it's so soft. They might judge it one way and think of it another. Black hair is important. Sometimes we say it's just hair, but it's really not. Hair is very important to your overall look. You are deemed presentable or unpresentable based on what your hair is looking like. And like me, honestly, if my hair is not done, I'm not feeling right. Same with eyebrows and all that. But hair is just like icing on the cake. You're not dressed if your hair is not done. You're not put together if your hair is not looking right.
Black hair to me is beauty. We can do just about anything with our hair. It's just anything. It's
So you're stuck when it comes to what black hair is.
Yes.
We will come back to you. Miss Ashley.
I would have to, my opinion of it is, pretty the same. I think that black hair, it speaks to our beauty and it speaks to, versatility, the possibilities with our hair are endless. And I think in the spectrum of black hair, there's so many different textures that it's not just tightly coiled hair. It can be fine hair, it can be dense, it can be loosely curled, almost straight. I know black people with every kind of texture, so I just feel like we span the entire spectrum of hair as a people.
So black hair to me is definitely an expression of one's personality, our culture, our heritage. It is everything that we represent. We represent our style in our hair. Definitely, that's basically it.
So when we think about other groups, non-black groups, maybe Caucasian, Asian, whatever, right? Do they have the same kind of magic, power, representation, texture, color, styles that we have as black people, black women when it comes to hair? Or are we just uniquely different?
I think we are uniquely different.
Why?
One, I've had Caucasian people and other races actually tell me, every day I see you, your style is different, your hair is different. Every day I see my coworkers and people at work, their hair is just straight. There's nothing to it. Sometimes they wave it up with the curling iron and stuff like that. But every day their style is exactly the same. They don't express themselves with their hair like women of color do.
I could agree to that statement.
Yes.
When we black women, we could have a new hairstyle every different day of the week. But the one thing I will say, I don't know why typically it's the white people in your neighborhood, they might not do their hair that much, but in the hair world, to me, honestly, you can do a lot with white hair. It's just about, do they want to do it? But certain styles will hold better on ours, like certain braided styles, certain updos. Sometimes your more fine hair textures, typical on white people. They need more hairspray and back combing and teasing to get some of the styles to work and lay right on their hair versus our hair.
So they say black people's hair can defy gravity. Like it could
Right.
stand like a crown. So
Yes.
so other groups can't, their hair is different.
Right,
Can't
it
do
just
that.
swaps.
Right.
Maybe
know,
if they
just
have a
swaps
bunch of
naturally.
hairspray and
Tease
gel,
and-
you know,
yeah.
you could probably
But
get it that
some-
way with the spikes and all that. But
Like she was saying about our different textures, some black people's hair grows up and out, some grows down and out. A lot of your bigger, like a lot of the curly hair, it grows down and out. You gotta manipulate it to go up and out. Some people prefer one or the other. I like a face frame, but that's not the nature of my hair. My hair wants to be up.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. I want to kind of get into the economics of hair, right? Without getting into your money and your business, just on average, how much do you think a client of yours, just as a group, spends a month on getting their hair styled? Anybody can take that.
Well, I do mainly color, so I feel like a month. Well, okay, so color clients would come like every 6 to 8 weeks. So that month technically would be split into 2 months. But it could range between, I would say, $200 to $400 like
Okay.
per client.
Anybody's getting a different number
You said per month?
per month?
Per month.
Well, I'll say I don't really do anything under $55. So let's say if you got the minimum and you came twice a month, you looking at $110. Say you tip me $10 each time, add $20 to that. My most popular service $85. Maybe the second visit less. It could be anywhere like $140 a month, anywhere from $100 to $200.
So are you two, are you in that same area?
It's about 180.
About 180?
Yeah.
Sounds kind of low.
It could be more. It depends like what they got. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing a sewing, you spending $175 off the bat. You tip me $25. That's $200 right there. You come back
Right.
for a maintenance in 2 weeks. That's another $55.
But the
plus
thing
tip.
about it is that like those expensive services aren't always like they're not done on a monthly basis. Like
Right.
those big services, they're
Right.
done like bi-monthly
Get
or like
spread out.
every like maybe 2 to 3 months.
So just based on you guys' experiences and what you guys are doing in your salons, you're saying on average about $200 is what a client is spending.
or at least 110 for me. I do a lot of silk press, a lot of blowouts. So if they come
Mm-hmm.
twice, 110 with no tip.
All right. So when we talk about the hair care industry, we know there's a lot of weaves going on. There's a lot of extensions and things like that. And black women don't really, or black businesses don't really control that market. It's controlled by Asians. The hair's coming out of India, Asia, a little bit of
Yeah, the
Brazil.
hair itself, yeah.
But we don't control that distribution of that
Right.
market coming in. Like we're just receiving it. You know, I think of it as a cartel. You know, like in Mexico or Colombia, you know, they're producing
Or more
the
the
drug,
middleman.
and you guys are on the street corners, aka the salons, selling the drug.
Well, you got some people
Doing the hair, but that's not, you guys are not producing that. So my question is, why aren't we as black business owners and in the black hair care industry producing the hair that we're putting into our heads?
Well, I'll say yes and no because the vendors of your so-called Indian hair or Brazilian hair, it's like some of us are middlemen, but some black hairstylists do go to India themselves and pick their hair and set up those deals, and so they're the owner of the company, but they will get it from overseas. But I think it's good if you go over there yourself and get it. But sometimes, there's a party, you're the party in between. You might talk to a Chinese vendor or something. So it's like you still got to do business with somebody overseas, or there are black business owners who have the hair companies, and sometimes you go through them as well. But the Asians have a monopoly. I say for the beauty supply stores, they have a monopoly on that.
Yes.
Okay, so now the hair that most of your clients are using comes from where?
Overseas.
Yeah, overseas.
But
one,
it
because
could have been
it
through
is
a black
their
business
hair,
owner.
right?
Right. Like they're getting
it's the
it
Asian,
from-
it's the Indian hair.
Yeah.
It is their hair. It's not our hair. So one, we can't produce that hair.
Right.
So that's part of the problem right there to me. That it's their hair.
Right, because the afro, you can't really chop off an afro and put it on. Like her texture hair, this is curly and long if you can't see, but she might be able to like chop her hair off and put it on the weft. But somebody with a more kinkier texture, that's not gonna work.
Right.
Okay.
And
Well,
even like the higher textured hair, like the tightly coiled hair, comes from like straight hair that they do in like a steaming process. It's not even like
Right.
authentically like Afro hair. So,
so we're all starting out with a straight hair
Right.
base.
and then it's like steamed to
Create all
stay
these
that
curl
way.
patterns.
And that's coming out of Asia
Yeah.
and India, possibly Brazil.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
even think it comes from Brazil. I
To
think
me,
they
it's just
call
a
it that.
name. Like the whole Brazilian, Malaysian. The Brazilians not chopping their hair off for us. I don't know why they started calling it that, but to me, I always go like this with my hands in quotations, Brazilian hair. But it's really supposed to be Indian hair. I guess sometimes it's Cambodian. I don't know. But Chinese
So
vendors,
Asia
some of
and
it is
India.
Chinese.
So Asia and India basically is
Because I
where
thought
we're
that,
at.
like when the Indians sacrifice their
Yeah,
hair,
it's called
like,
tonsuring. I
yeah,
did a whole
they,
presentation in college. Yeah.
like take that hair and then
Yeah.
turn it into
So some of them already getting rid of it to begin with.
So let me just ask a question. Hopefully it's not too controversial, but why are we as black people taking hair from Asians and Indians and putting it in and on our head?
Why not?
Well, I don't think it's even just us though. Like I think that the misconception that only black women wear extensions is very, very skewed, because I know and I've worked with other textures of hair, Caucasian and Indian, and they wear extensions, but it's not like wefted extensions. It'll be like tape-ins or micro links or keratin bond. It's just a different form of doing it, but they still wear them. So they're wearing the Indian and Asian hair too. It's not just us.
Okay, I want to say something on that though. Yes, they definitely do, because I know a lot of Caucasians that put in certain extensions, but the thing is that hair already kind of matches their hair type. But what black women are mostly doing, or women of color in general, we're changing our entire style and our look of our hair to kind of fit into like the European hairstyle. And like I've done it a couple times. I have plenty of friends in like a family that still do. But you know, everybody has their preference, but it's definitely, that's the difference I think between the
Right.
colored women and the white women that do it.
They're
It
not
already
getting
matches
an
their
afro.
hair. They're just adding pieces to it.
But-
What we're doing is completely changing what we were born with naturally.
So what you're saying is the white women are just trying to maybe fill out their hair a little bit more?
Yeah, because
Add
some of them make it
length,
longer.
but it's the
They
same thing.
fulfill it. But what we're doing though, but it's not exactly the same thing, because we are changing our
But
natural
we
look
changing
of our hair.
texture. But the people the other day at this school, she was mixed, Italian and Cuban. She had big, long curly hair, and I'm like, we doing what to your head? But no, there's a shrinkage factor. So sometimes it's just for the length as well, or more volume. Her hair's already long; it looks shorter, curly. She just wanted it to be longer. So she got
I will
weave for
also
her
say
texture.
that like I think that the variety and textures that are available in
Right.
extensions has come a long way, because before, like years ago, you weren't able to get like the
Kinky curly,
kinky curlies and
Yeah,
the
now I
do it a
the relaxed straight, the straight hair that actually matches
Right.
our textures. It wasn't available like years ago. Like that was not a thing. It was only like yaki hair and
Yaki
that was
perm.
pretty much it. So I think now a lot of women get those textures, like since it's becoming more popular, like they'll get textures to match
Right.
their
I'm gonna use it as an
actual
example again.
So I want to touch on
hair.
something Marita said, and she talked about black women getting that to change their whole look of who they are through hair, right? White women are using it to kind of fill out the hair, and black women are using it not necessarily to fill out the hair, but just to change the whole look of what they naturally would be if they weren't putting in a weave. So what do you guys think about what she said on that?
I still think it's both though, because the kinky, like say I'm black, I have more what you might call a 70s fro. If I want a different curl pattern, I could buy something that looks like her. It doesn't mean I want to be white. I just wanted a different curl pattern. Sometimes I like this. This is some wavy, curly something. I've had tighter, kinky, curly weave. I've had more of like an afro look. I've had straight. Like, doesn't mean I'm trying to be any other kind of race. I wanted more volume. I wanted more length, or I wanted a different curl pattern.
So you said you could buy something that looks like her,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean I'm trying to look white. So you're associating that look with white.
No, I'm saying that's the argument I hear all the time. Is that if I wear
I'm
straight
definitely not white.
or wavy, if I wear straight or wavy, they'd say, "Oh, we want to be Caucasian." If I wear a different curl, "Oh, you want to be white?" Like, no.
All right, so let
I
Rhonda jump in this.
feel it's just we want versatility. We want to do something different with our hair. They go to Jamaica and get their hair braided up to look like us. Why can't we wear their hair?
I think that's vacation, though.
That- yeah.
They come home.
Yeah,
it
but
changes.
why can't we do something different with our hair?
I think though, with the whole like the initial start of where this all came from, originally it may not be the same now, the same mindset now, but when it's initially started, it was because a lot of Black women did want to fit into that like that white straight hair. They did want to do that. There was more professional, even like in the workforce, like oh, your hair should be straight and look a certain way. It was in mainstream media. All the celebrities had their hair straight or more wavy. It wasn't like the nappy, kinky, curly, nothing. Like curly was not in. Like now, curls are in now. People
Right.
are more,
But I still feel
leaning
like,
towards
I feel like
the
curls are still more coveted than kinks. Like you're more it's more accepting to have curly hair than a kinky afro with no like curl definition.
Right.
And I think it's always been like that. But to be honest, like when I was little, I didn't know about white, the images projected exactly like, oh, we have to have our hair straight and stuff. I just remember people telling me that I needed a relaxer or telling me my mom should give me one. I remember a white girl asking me in elementary school why my hair didn't lay down. Like, when we're little, we got
to
the
fit
barrettes.
like hers though.
Yeah,
Like,
so
that's
it's
why.
because I'm different than her. So it's just like, why does
And
your
then
hair
the
do
older
that?
people that told you that, they had that mindset of
kept
it
hearing,
should
I
be
need
straight because
this,
straight is better.
And I need that. But
And
I know
they
if I
weren't
had,
accepting
Right.
themselves
So
for
let
their
me
natural hair.
piggyback off what Rita is saying. So you're taking it to the history. I guess Madam C.J. Walker, when she made the straightening comb, and all these Black women made her a millionaire because they wanted to get their hair straight, right? And now you fast forward 100 years later, and we're still trying to keep our hair straight for the most part.
Yes, I know.
What does that say about us as Black women?
I think that hair is a very like historically traumatic experience for us. Like even going back to slavery, when it's like you put the pencil in somebody's hair and see if they are white or Black, like it goes back to like it's very, very deeply ingrained in our history. So I feel like to combat those issues takes a lot of time. Like slavery has not even been over for 100, like segregation and all that stuff has not even been over for like 100 years. So I think that it's just
I'm still
a
enslaved.
learning process, and I think we're stepping into like embracing everything about ourselves now. But I think it just takes time.
Straight is an option. Like so I do a lot of silk press. I do a lot of blowouts. I have regular clients, but I also have some people who come once or twice a year. They will only straighten their hair once or twice a year because it's just an option. It's how they were feeling, or maybe they had an event and they wanted a different look, and that's why they came. Like to me, it's not always as deep as we make it.
I think that for some people that it's an option, but for other people they're still stuck in the mindset. Oh, like I've heard a lot of people say like, oh, well, I don't think that I could do that because I don't think that my natural hair suits me. And it's like, it's your hair. It definitely
Sometimes
suits
I'm like,
you.
it's a style though, because to me, people have different facial features and structures. Everybody's not going to look good with a TWA, which is short for teeny weeny afro. Everybody not about to look good with a big chop.
And don't get
Or
me
a
wrong,
short,
I'm not
relaxed
even
pixie
saying to
cut.
do a big chop, but I'm just saying.
Well, right, it's
like,
about how it's styled.
right. It's and I'm never one to push natural on anybody because I feel like at the end of the day, it's a lifestyle decision. Natural hair takes time, commitment, and if straight is better for you, it's quicker and less maintenance, and it fits your lifestyle. I don't see
Right,
why
'cause
that's
to me,
a problem.
honestly, everybody don't look good with a ponytail or a puff or a bun. Some people look better with their hair down. Everybody's hair don't flop like that. You gotta try to manipulate it, you gotta press it, or you gotta try to do a twist out. But some people's hair wants to stay tight and shriveled up. And
So
that might
Benita,
not
let me
fit
ask you a
their face.
question. So based on what you're saying, do you think that the hairstyles that Black women have today are more based on choice, style, versatility, and less on I want a more European centric look? Because that'll
Yes.
get me a higher salary, a better job, that'll get me into the door, that'll keep me more mainstream.
Some people in corporate might think that way, but I'm not in that world. But I hear people tell me I suggest a certain hairstyle. They're like, "Oh, I can't do that. I work at place XYZ." But that's not my mentality because I don't work in a corporate setting. So
I
kinda
work in a
just
corporate setting, and
do what
it's
I want.
definitely not my mentality. Maybe because I break the rules anyway, or I just don't care. But I did have a friend that recently went on a job interview, and she's a natural curly girl, and she was straightening her hair, and I'm like, that's not like her to straighten her hair. So I asked her, "What's up?" And she said, "Oh, I'm going on this job interview," and I'm like, "Okay." And
Some
and
people
she's
do
like,
that and switch up later though.
But
Like,
why
bam.
not go in the door that way? If that's the way you're
Right.
going to wear your hair,
Right.
that's the way your hair naturally is. Go for it. The way, let them accept you,
For
you
who
know,
you
for
are.
who you are now. If your resume is tight, your skills are tight, and everything else, it should not matter because your hair is wavy. Her hair is like curly like mine, so I'm like, you could either put that up and do it like a cute curly bun, something, and still look professional. But why are you letting them tell you, or what you think they might tell you, that that is not professional because your hair is curly? For one, I didn't have to go through the transition process. I was born naturally curly, and I kept my hair curly that way for years. Every now and then I would go to the Dominican salon and like get it straightened out, but it was just because I wanted to switch up and have a little versatility, but I could do that on my own. But the thing is, I was born naturally curly. So if I'm now going into the workforce and people are like, why is your hair so big? Why is it, puffy? Why you have the curls like that? That's the way that I am. You're not going to make me change my style because you're uncomfortable with it.
Right.
So,
And not
Yeah.
for nothing, there are like people of other, like I work for Mazzani and we're very big on texture is everywhere. There are people in other races with a lot of texture. Like there are Jewish people with
coarse hair.
coarse afro like hair, like very, very curly, big. And I don't feel like they get those same like restrictions. They'll wear it to work and be perfectly fine. But I think that we kind of hold ourselves to those like boundaries.
Right.
And I don't think that we need to.
So let me ask you guys a question because we mentioned natural hair several times, right? So why, as stylists and just people, black women in general, why aren't we pushing more natural hairstyles?
We are. It is.
So you're
I
pushing
do
more
natural
natural
hair
hair?
all day.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Because
are
my
you
most
pushing it?
popular
Is that
is-
like, a campaign? Like we
Yeah,
should
like-
go natural, right? This is
I
who
don't-
we are. Like in the 70s, they were rocking the afros.
It's just
Black
happening.
is beautiful.
Like,
I'm
several-
black and I'm proud. And I went to Curl Fest yesterday and I seen a
my God.
lot going on.
I loved it. It was beautiful to see so many natural,
There was a lot of amazing
curly women. I'm talking about kinky, curly afros, like beautiful.
I felt like
styles.
those women must have flew in from around the world because I don't see
Some
that
people
when I
were
walk.
from out of town.
I don't see that when I walk around New York City.
I think you just
So-
don't see it in
Not
in
like
one
that.
concentrated area.
I
think
see
that
naturals
those,
everywhere.
yeah.
Like it's everywhere now.
So, we as black women, are we pushing for the natural hair campaign? Is that what we want to promote, or it's
I
whatever?
push for do what
Whatever.
makes
Yeah.
you feel happy.
Yes.
And as long as you're not doing it to conform to somebody else's standards of what they think that you should be, then I feel like that's fine.
I feel like like I talk to my clients and if I can tell like if they're on a medication and if it's interacting with their hair relaxed, then I would suggest that they try to come out of the relaxer and go natural and then I just soak press it to give them that look of straight hair. Because a lot of times with going natural, it's more expensive. People think it's cheap to go natural, and it's not. To me, it costs more than relaxing your hair. So
In what way?
because the products,
Oh.
yeah, just the products alone.
With that
So I would say
thinking
also the
process,
hair
we might
sometimes
have
is
with
really
that thinking
expensive.
process, we might have had a hard time back in the days, hundreds and 200s and 300s and thousands of years ago, as black people trying to maintain our hair because it was hard and expensive. That's interesting. What were you gonna say?
No, well, I don't feel that I feel like it's just as expensive to go buy the weaves and then go to the salon and get your hair done. Like my hair is not that expensive, like to maintain. I use curly natural products. Also, you don't have to go on the shelves and buy it. There's things that you could do and make at home yourself, oils and things like that. I work for curls.biz, And one of the things I do promote, wearing your hair natural, whether it's really tightly kinky, coiled, or whether it's looser curls, it doesn't matter. My thing is just, why are you doing what you're doing? It's okay. Like, I don't judge people that wear weaves. Like, I put in a sew-in once in my life too. Like, I want to try it. So, but my thing is, why are you doing? Just know why you're wearing your hair that certain way. Again, like you said, not to conform to a certain look. But there are many women that I talk to that say, I don't feel pretty if I don't have my hair straight.
Well, I think it's very.
I don't feel
that's
like
what's the
my
problem.
natural hair, like I feel like my hair is too nappy and I don't want people to talk about me, you know, especially if they're going through the transition stage. I don't want to deal with that. I mean, but that's part of it though. And then the chemical, relaxing your hair, that's chemicals that are going to your body for years. You're damaging your hair when you put a lot of heat to your hair. They're like, you know, especially through the transition, they're like, I want to straighten it again. Cause like, look at how some half straight still got those little stringy pieces or whatever.
Right.
But it's like, that's all a part of the process. And if you continue to even silk press it or use a hot comb, like you're still putting heat damage to your hair. You're not giving it time to get to its natural curl pattern like it used to be.
So based on what you just said, why are women still doing this process of weave, perm, pressing the hair, heating the hair? Why wouldn't they go natural?
I mean, but you are natural if you press your hair. And there's something called technique. I could keep your hair healthy and long by giving you a blowout every
Yes.
2 weeks. There's people with long, healthy, relaxed hair. A lot of naturals now, not everybody had a problem with a relaxer. They following the trend, even though
Right.
that's how they were born. They didn't have hair problems. So if you had long, relaxed hair, you're going to have long,
So you're not worried
natural
about the
hair.
chemicals that are going into your head?
Not everybody. Some people are perfectly fine with their relaxer. And you could be fly as hell with a short, relaxed pixie cut. That's trending with the finger waves and the curls. That's a chemical, and not everybody needs the chemical to do it, but
It's not
what's
about
wrong with
being
that?
fly. It's about taking care of
being
your health.
healthy. But if
Right.
you want to go to that extreme, like some people bash people for using relaxers and they use product XYZ. If you're going to go to that extreme, nothing synthetic should be on your body at all.
I seen Chris
just think
Rock's
the
special.
the
I seen
less-
Chris Rock's movie special, Good Hair, and he dipped a Pepsi can or the Coca-Cola can, and the can got eaten up. You know, and that stuff that we're putting in our hair, and that's chemicals. A lot of these chemicals that you guys, women, are putting into their hair are cancer-causing chemicals. And that's not really being talked about because the vanity of I just need to look a certain way so I can feel a certain
It's
way
regular products.
seems more important than long-term health.
The food that we eat
Right,
is
it's
cancerous.
causing. Everything is cancer.
I think
Everything has
does
a
have
cancer.
stuff in it, but the less you put into your body, the better. Because me, like I changed after I started learning like more about what we are eating and putting into our body. I started
Yes.
changing my diet. I was like, okay, I'm gonna at least cut more of the sugar out. I'm gonna cut more of these other processed foods out. You know, I'm gonna start, you know, cooking at home. I'm not eating at these restaurants, these fast food places. So everything that goes into your body is important.
So what you're saying, Marie, is that you care about everything. So
Right.
as
Not
Rhonda
just about
said,
the
well,
hair.
food could give you cancer, or you changed your diet, right? If you're playing on a turf field where they have that rubber, a lot of young kids have been getting cancer because of the rubber that's on the turf field is giving them cancer. So you might change and play on that natural field. Or you can take the attitude and say, well, shit, everything's going to give you cancer. You're going to die anyway, so you just continue doing what
some
you
people
do. It's a choice, right? We all got to make a choice. And we're talking about hair, so that choice comes with our hair as well. So I'm just going to ask one more question about natural, and then I'm going to move on. Would any of you guys, with the exception of you, consider going natural?
I am natural.
I'm natural.
Natural, okay.
I just felt like being Kelly Rowland for a little bit.
All right,
And
so
I think that's cool. Like
Mary-
you're natural underneath,
Yeah.
and then you still wear the weaves. That's fine. But my thing is the whole relaxed thing too. And not that I agree like all the time. Like it depends on why are you wearing the weaves? Why are you doing it? Don't look at me like that. No, why are you wearing the weave? Do you feel like it makes you more beautiful than your own natural hair? That's my,
so maybe I'm getting
I
it mixed
feel-
up. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up. So you're saying that you can be natural and still wear weave?
you can like people put in braids in their hair.
When I say natural, I'm talking about no weave, no extensions, no process, just your natural hair, and you work with it. That's natural to me.
So you saying you
it
gotta
is.
be like that 24/7 every day?
I'm not saying you have to be
But
anyway.
some people
I'm just
do
asking
add
why
hair.
aren't people going more natural? And I'm describing what I think natural means.
But it's
They
also
are, though.
circumstantial because it's like okay, so I have like a low cut now because I'm growing my hair back out. Like I've been natural since 2009. But since then, I've like cut my hair in different ways. I had shaved sides, so I cut everything off so that I can grow it back evenly. I know my hair grows fast, it's thick. When I go on vacation, I don't want to deal with doing my hair. I want to relax and lay out on the beach. So maybe I'm going to throw in a weave or braids so that I don't have to worry about that. I feel like it all depends on what you're doing at that time that could be better for you and make your life easier. I don't think that hair should stress you out. And that's why I always make different suggestions to my clients to go the easiest route so that at the end of the day, you're not worrying about, like, your hair shouldn't be a problem. It should
Right,
make
like
you
a
happy.
good wig.
I'm natural underneath, but I wear wigs because it's promotion for me. It's more business for me. Oh, who did it? No, oh, I did it. Here's my card. You know, a lot of people approach you on your hair. If your hair is laid, they want to get it done. So it's promotion for me.
So for you, it's like advertising.
Advertisement, yes.
And it's just easier. I work 2 blocks from my crib. I'd rather spend more time on, I don't want to spend time on makeup and hair. I don't want to untwist anything in the morning and twist it every night before bed. I wake up, my hair is braided up. I plop my wig on. It don't look like a wig. I'm out the door.
So for you, it's
Boom.
convenience.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's segue to the next thing. I want to talk about the images, the beauty images, especially through hair, that our young black and brown girls see, right? So they're not really seeing a lot of these natural images, especially when they look at TV, music videos, looking at pictures of their celebrities and that kind of thing. Do you guys see that as a problem?
I feel the image should start at home from their moms.
Okay.
You shouldn't look at television to justify who you are. That starts at home.
So there's a stat that says 6 out of 10 women have black women have some sort of weave, extension, wig going on with their hair. 6 out of 10 is a number I saw, right? So if it starts at home, these kids are seeing the mom with it. So they don't even need to watch Scandal, being Mary Jane. They could just look at mom, auntie, grandma.
Well, here's the thing as well. It's something Whoopi Goldberg said, I think, on The View one time. She was like, she has no problem with weave. She's just like, why does it always have to be straight? Like, she's all for something kinky, something curly. So I'm like, if your mom is rocking that, I don't see a problem with that either. But I still think times have changed now. But I feel like it's more on the internet than TV. Like, younger girls, maybe like teenagers growing up, they see this whole big movement. Like, I did a whole paper on the natural hair movement. I'll say after maybe around like maybe 2013 and up, it was more popular. I remember I had an afro in beauty school in Philly, and they was looking at me like, when you gonna get your hair done? And you should get a relaxer. And that was 2010. Just like a few years later, like, everything changed. And I had ended up getting a relaxer. Then I did the big chop again. I was natural again. They're rocking different weaves. But I still think the times have changed, and younger girls see more natural hair. It's more accepted. We're more empowering. Like, Curl Fest is just a big empowering thing. And there's all kinds of events and meetups for people to, learn about their hair and feel good about it. So I think it's different from years ago. Like, the new generation coming up, it's going to be a lot of black girls that would never, ever have a relaxer. I'm 26, so my generation, a lot of us were like, it was forced on us. We didn't really want it. I remember I used to like beg to get my hair pressed, but and it might be just because people kept telling me I need a relaxer, but my hair is tight. I liked the easier, even the twist out on stretched hair is easier than leaving it tight.
So let me ask you a question. Rhonda said it starts at home, right? I feel like there's a problem with the images in mainstream media, television, even billboards that you see on the train station, TV shows we watch, music videos we listen to, artists we follow, weaved out, right? A lot of straight weaves. But Rhonda says it starts at home. Who thinks it starts at home?
Well, it would be great if it started at home, but also there are a lot of people like mainstream media on the billboards that we see the straight hair on everybody, big movies and things like that, and commercials, just regular commercials. I don't see a lot of people that look like me with curly hair even, and I definitely don't see a lot of people with natural kinky hair. Like, I don't see that a lot. I've seen it a little bit, but still not a lot.
It's like a token
Yeah, so I'm like,
Totally
oh, when I do see one, they got this, like there was I don't know if it was a Delta commercial or JetBlue. I was online and I'm like, oh, just even on their website, there was a curly girl right there. And I was like, I would have never seen this like years ago. Just maybe like 2 years ago, I wouldn't have even seen it. And I was just shocked. Then there was a Macy's commercial that I know somebody that was in that commercial and she's a curly girl. And I'm like, well, about time. Like, and then they even had like another black woman there and they were the only two. There was a kinky black girl and then there was a more loosely curled girl. And I was just even shocked that they even did that because you would not see them in a Macy's commercial around Christmas time back in the day, like at all.
That's because they want our dollars.
Well, ads tend to use racially ambiguous looking people. Like, it's not always somebody my complexion or darker with a short, kinky afro with no curl. Like, that's more
appeal to
rare.
everybody.
All right. So if it starts at home, as Rhonda says,
Wait,
Can-
when
hold
I
on.
say it starts at home, it's in the upbringing. Like we have, and you got to think about it. When I say it starts at home, I'm talking about like grandmothers. Like, well, my mother taught us, to love ourselves, love our hair, and all of that good stuff. But you have teenage mothers raising kids now, so it's whatever they see. That's what they're teaching their kids. They're teaching their kids to twerk and do all these crazy things. Not to get off subject about here, but that's it's the age range.
well, teenagers have been having kids for decades.
Right.
And if it starts at home, can a black mother, tell her daughter about you are beautiful, black is beautiful, love yourself, and she's doing all of this while she has a weave? What
She
is that
can,
saying?
but check
Wait. Is that a contradiction?
I just feel like the term of, like the span of weaves is so broad. Like, okay, for instance, like my best friend, I remember when I did her big chop, and she has like 2 young daughters, and I remember seeing like her daughter saw her for the first time with her natural hair, and it was beautiful because like she's a little girl, she was like 2. Now my friend, she still wears extensions, but she also wears curly extensions. Like it's not just straight. Like I don't think that weaves are only a straight thing. Like there's versatility in all the styles that we do. So I don't think that means that you don't love yourself because you're trying to like switch it up.
Right, you could get the same exact texture of your natural hair pattern, but just have more of it. Like you get it, make it bigger or longer, but your same exact.
So what is the message that we're saying to little girls? Like if you was gonna go to a classroom, Ashley, and you was gonna speak to first and second graders, and you're gonna talk to them about hair, and also talk to them about black is beautiful and believing in themselves, how do you approach that? What do you say? And anyone can jump in there.
I think it's not necessarily in how it's said, but I feel like even if I was to walk in a room and tell a little girl with natural hair, like, oh my God, your hair is so pretty. If she thinks that I'm pretty and she's looking up to me, then that's going to mean something to her, regardless of how my hair is. Like,
Right.
I don't think that she needs to see exactly like me looking exactly like her for that to be special to her.
So if she saw a person come in and the kids saw a person come in speaking to the class and she had this gorgeous long weave, whether it's curly or straight, and she looked up to that person, wouldn't she want her hair to be like that too?
She
I
might.
mean,
She might not even know what it is. She might not know if that's her natural length or pattern. Like she might not even know.
Marita, what do you think?
My only thing I would tell any woman or child, no matter what, accept who you are for who you are. What you were born with, you are beautiful regardless. Don't anyone tell you you need to add or take away anything to fit in to anybody's category. What you are born with, that's what God gave you. You are perfect just like that. And at first, I didn't even think that I was pretty or perfect the way I was. But that's something that I had to realize that, you know what, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am beautiful just like God made me, and everybody may not believe that, but you have to be okay with, if we were not able to buy any weaves, if we were not able to go to the store anymore and do any of these things, then what we gonna do? That's what we're stuck with. You're gonna have to learn to accept and love yourself just as you are. It doesn't matter if you can't go buy it. What if we can't go to the store and pick out the Curls products or any other products that we might use in our hair? Then what we're going to do? We're going to make a way, and we're going to have to deal with it. And it won't be expensive because we won't have nothing else.
So with that said, you said when you were a young girl, you didn't believe yourself was beautiful. So what did you think was beautiful? Because if it wasn't you, what was it?
Well, I did look at a lot of people on TV because even though I had my mom was natural for many years. So sometimes you do look up to, like, let's say I loved Mariah Carey. When I was growing up, I loved her. And I always looked at her. She had less curly hair, was more wavy and straight. And I'm like, I love her. I thought Mariah was beautiful. I thought she was perfect. And that's who I kind of like modeled after. And so I wanted that more straight, which when I got older, I did start going to the Dominican salons to get my hair, more straight that way. But I think I relaxed my hair. My mom did it one time, and that was because my cousins kept pushing her. It was like, oh, you know what? Because your mom never does your hair anyway because it's so kinky. So they pushed that on my mom to relax my hair that time. And after that, I never did it again. I hated it.
Bonita, was there anybody you looked up to when you was a young teen?
No, like hair wise, no. I'm saying, but back to the it's at home thing. Like my mom had a natural big chop, and she also had sister locks. So she was natural for a long time. I've seen her with a relaxer too, but I didn't want dreads. I didn't want a little afro.
What did
just
you
because
want?
my mom. I just know I liked my hair looser, softer, or straight. Even if it was pressed, like for picture day, I had to do something to it. Even if it was just a double strand twist, I liked it better pressed because it was longer.
So let me ask you guys a question. And I can almost guess the answer, but do you girls feel that black women spend too much time on their hair? Like, are there
I don't
other
know what's
things we
too
could
much.
do?
What do you
Is there
mean,
other
too
things we can,
much?
economics wise? Are we spending too much money on hair care products?
I don't think it's just hair care
Just
products.
sitting in a salon wise, are we spending too much time in a
No,
salon
we
when we could be
aren't.
doing
I
other
think it's
things?
beauty, period.
Just a question.
I don't think so. I think that our hair takes more time?
Sure
Absolutely.
Yes.
It definitely, I can do a round brush blowout on somebody with pin straight hair in 30 minutes. Anybody else that comes in
Hour
with
and a half.
relaxed or natural hair is gonna definitely take an hour and a half. It's for the same
Detangling?
service.
It's a thing,
for the same exact service. It's gonna take much longer. So is it more of a time commitment? It definitely is, without a doubt. And that's just biologically, genetically, that has nothing to do with us. It just takes more time,
So
period.
can't we be doing more valuable things with our time? Than
It is valuable.
our
Your
hair?
That is
hygiene and
valuable.
self-care is valuable.
All right. So to Bonita, it's valuable to sit in that chair for all those hours. I get it. Rhonda, you think
it's only an hour. I can have people
Hour
in
and
and
a
out in an
half.
hour and a half. If
I
your
can
hair
say
is
even with
looser,
my natural hair,
her
my curly hair, I will
All right,
twist
so
my hair and it takes an hour.
So
or
to the
for
public
me to-
listening, you must want to get to these ladies' shops, and we're going to introduce the shops and where they work because they are knocking you guys out in 30 minutes. I know when I date women and the hair salon, they be in there all day. But you guys,
As long as they're on
you guys
time.
are
It's
in
a
and
time
out,
thing.
30
Yeah, in
minutes.
and
No,
out.
hour and a
Goodness.
half to 2 hours. I do people with 3 heads of people worth of hair. So,
All right, so you guys are trying to be tricky. So let me rephrase the question. How much time are they sitting in that salon?
an hour and a half.
All right, hair done, sitting in the salon. It's an
I
hour
give
and a
it
half.
up to 2 hours.
2 hours.
Or a weave, 3
Because
hours.
y'all got 3 people in there,
It
but
depends
you're
on
still
the
getting
service.
them out in
but
an
for
hour and a half.
A basic
hour and a
basic
half.
blowout,
Yeah.
hour and a half.
But
No
can I
deep
say something real
conditioning.
quick?
Yes.
So so I know y'all have salons and we're locally and we're here, but on in the movie or the documentary that Chris Rock did, right, The Good Hair. So I was looking at some of those and more the high end salons that people that spend the thousands of dollars on their hair. I think that's where the extremity is. Especially there are some people that really can't afford the $1,000 or more that they spend on their hair, or they should be spending it somewhere else. These are some women that are, stay-at-home moms, or they either at home on the state, things like that. But they will spend every last dime they have to get that expensive weave that they know they have no business spending their money on because their kids ain't got clothes. They ain't got food to eat, but they are spending their last dime to make sure that they look good and have that Beyonce look or whatever else look, because they want to be fly, they want to be on fleek, they want to be popping, whatever. They want to be lit on the weekends. Their image is everything to them. And that, to me, when you're willing to spend your last dime on that and you know you can't afford that, that's a problem to me.
And when they run out of the dime, then they rob the beauty supply store. And it's all over the internet. We're not saying every person, right? But it's
But it's
all over the
also
internet
people
where
that got
people
it
are
like that,
robbing
though.
salons and robbing hair care supply stores to get weave. Come
Well,
on,
PSA, none of us want you to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Not everybody is broke and struggling though. People have money. I know people that do $500 weaves that take 5 hours. You can't see a single weft. They could pull it up in a high ponytail, and they have they natural hair longer than this weave in my head. It's a convenience thing for them, and they also buy good hair. But it's levels though. You could get bundles. You could get 3 bundles for $200 or less, or you could spend $300 or $400 on hair, or you could spend $100 or less on the hair itself. It's levels, so you should stay in your lane. But everybody's not broke and struggling though. People got it like that to get to spend money on a weave or color service. Color takes time, it's expensive, and do they natural hair and still spend big bucks. You could spend $300 or more on a color service with your real hair.
So when Jay-Z came out with 444, I wonder if he was talking about this when he talks about economics and that kind of thing, and saving money and
Well,
where we
he's not
spend our
hurting
money,
for money.
and our priorities. He's giving you $1 million advice for $9.99. So let me ask you guys a question about Black-owned businesses and continuing to support Black businesses. You guys are all Black-owned businesses, but I hear Marita talk about going to the Dominican salon, and she mentioned that several times. So do you guys have an issue with that? Because I hear a lot of
yes,
Black
I
women
do.
saying they're going to the Dominicans
Yes.
because it's cheaper, is what I usually hear. So how do you guys feel about that?
Let me start. I, for one, it's been hard, like coming up. I really struggled building, but I'm in a way better place now. Where I live, it's $8. We call it a doobie, $8, $15. It is hard to compete with that, but I also learned their products are more watered down. They use way too much heat, and they actually have been damaging and thinning people's hair out. And I tend to correct that.
Right.
But my prices are totally different from there. So some people gonna be with it, some will not. Some people think we're supposed to lower our standards, and I'm like, no. But you should, if you can find a good Black hairstyle. Like one of my clients was like, the Spanish people, they hold each other down. So I stopped going to the Dominicans. I wanted to put money in a good Black hairstylist pocket, and she found me on Instagram, and that's what it is. But I say they really good with roller sets and everything, but as far as like just the hair care and the shampooing, sometimes they sneak relaxer in people's conditioners that they don't want.
Yes.
Or if you have a certain kind of natural hair texture, they don't want to do it. Some of them will have a sign saying we don't do natural hair. So I'm like, you might as well go to a Black salon and get get your hair done the way it's supposed to be.
And I think also, not for nothing, and I mean, hopefully nobody gets offended by the statement, but I know that in Dominican culture, they also have their own stigmas with curly hair, and it's not necessarily appreciated. So I feel like a lot of those salons don't take the time to like care for people's curls. And so since they don't have the mindset of like keeping the integrity of it, I think that a lot of people come to me and they've had their hair damaged by it. So I just think, it's a quick, easy solution to coming to a more like high-end salon, but you also get what you pay for. Yep. And then when you sit in my chair and your hair is like breaking off and you have no curl pattern, now you have to sit with me for months to even like grow it back out and make sure that it comes back.
So what's the stigma that Dominicans have with curly hair?
I'm not Dominican, but I know that I've known Dominican people to like relax their hair. Like it's not always like celebrated. Like they usually want it like straighter.
Like the looser, the better.
Yeah.
So I heard that the more kinkier hair you are, they consider that to be more like black hair, and that's not good. And that's the problem that they have with the hair. Like straight is better, and kinky curly is leaning more towards black, and that's frowned upon
And it's
in
the same
Dominican
in
community
our,
and
it's
culture.
the same with black people too. Like, to feel honestly, I feel like if you swap, I don't care what nobody say. If we swap textures with certain naturals, some people that's really like, oh, wear your hair, blah blah blah. If you give them a different hair texture, they're not gonna be singing that tune. That's how I feel.
And
Everybody thinks my hair is easy. My hair, even with my texture, is
Right,
not
it's not
as
easy.
easy as
It's
people
not
think.
easy, but it's
It might
easier
be-
than some.
So for
Yeah.
people who can't see your texture, can you describe it to them?
Well, it's definitely it's kinky curl. It's like a mix of some patterns. Like there's some pieces that are really really tight curls, and then when you cannot put a comb through my hair like at all, like unless it's a wide tooth comb and I have it wet. So it's definitely not like a really loose.
For them to imagine, the typing system, you probably like
So
a 3B.
3B,
Yeah.
like a 3B, 3C. So go look that up if you don't know what it is. You can see. And then also, as far as like the Dominicans, so when I was going to them, I didn't know. Like I had people, tell me to go to the Dominican salon because they would get it the straightest, which is why I went to them. But I didn't. They do use a whole lot more heat. Mm-hmm. They were pulling and thinning out a lot of my hair. And again, at that time, I did not know that that's what they were doing.
Did you get the little sprouts up top?
Oh my gosh, yes. But my hair was super straight when I came out of that salon though. And it was cheaper. But again, you get what you pay for. And I didn't know at the time that I was damaging my curls. So I didn't have a relaxer in it. But every time that I did put that heat to my hair, I was knocking out some more of my curl pattern and didn't realize it. So now I don't straighten my hair at all anymore. I'm just like, I give that up. Like,
If it's done right, you'll be good money. Trust me.
So we had a good conversation about hair, and hope you guys don't feel like I was putting you on the spot, but I am
really?
pro natural hair, as you can tell. And that's what I want to gear our young black and brown girls towards, being more natural and just kind of working with their hair. I do understand the versatility and wanting to change things up. Maybe you go on vacation, you want to mix it up. I get it, but overall, I think if we just had a nation of us with our
I think
real
it
natural
is, though.
hair, I think the power that would come from that would be amazing. But
Your wishes are coming true right now.
it seems like we have a long way to
well, if
go.
we
It's
just stop
happening
spending
before
money,
we get there.
period, with people overseas, we could save a lot of money and
that
invest
would
that
be
in other things.
an economic show where we would talk about the finances and the business, really
We would
fine
kill
tuning
their
that.
industry if everybody just went on strike and said, you know what, I'm done.
But listening to the panel today, and this is a sample size, it really doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon. But I want you guys to be able to promote your businesses, your salons, your products, and who you work for, if you're working for yourself, and talk to the audience about that a little bit. So we're going to start with Ashley. Ashley, if somebody was to come to your salon and they wanted to have you do a masterpiece on their hair, what would that experience be like?
Oh, it would be comfortable. It would be quick. I specialize in color, and I also have a vast natural clientele. So most of my, like I would say about 90% of my clients have like curly hair. Some are relaxed, and then but I play in all textures. And an experience with me is fun. I'm at LW Salon on 45th Street. And I use all Mazzani products. I'm an artist and educator from Mazzani, so I use all professional grade products on all of my clients, and you definitely get exactly what you pay for.
So that's LW Salon on 45th
Yes.
Street in Manhattan, New York?
Yes.
All right. So if they wanted to find you on social media, or if you have a website, can you give that out to the people?
My website is www.ashleyleestyling.com, and I do all of my appointments through my website, and on social media, I am at AL Styling.
All right. And we will post all of that on the link when we post this show on YouTube and also on the Black Pill Radio website. So blackpillradio.com. You'll be able to get all the contact information for all our guests. So you can follow up with them and hopefully support them, support Black-owned businesses. You heard what they have to say in terms of their education with hair, what they're doing with their hair, and how knowledgeable they are. So I know they're going to do a good job. And Ashley says she's going to get you out in an hour and 30 minutes. So
Guaranteed.
guaranteed. There you go. So I know you can't pass that up. So Rhonda, tell us about your experience, what people will experience when they come to see you.
It will be a lovely experience, a nice environment, little comedy because we joke a lot in the salon. and whatever you would want done to your hair, you're going to get it done in a timely manner, and it will be a lovely experience.
She said timely manner.
In a timely manner, meaning as long as you're on time, you're going to get out on time.
All right, sounds good. And if they wanted to find you on social media, how would they go about that?
On Instagram, I'm Chalk521, and on Facebook, it's Rhonda L. Hurst, and at the salon, it's the Pink Terrace Hair Salon in Windsor, Connecticut.
And Chalk is short for chocolate?
Yes.
All right, so she's a chocolate sister. Go follow her, follow Ashley as well. They're going to hook you up. Last but not least, Miss Bonita.
Okay, so I work in a salon suite. It's called Tamika's Beauty, but there's no banner outside. There's no sign. So I'm just like, look at the number on the building, 1980 Springfield Avenue, Maplewood, New Jersey, 07040. We are Suite 3. I just call it the Style by Bonita chair. You can book me on my Style Seat page, styleseat.com/styledbybonita. And that's also the link that's in my Instagram bio that I try to get everybody to tap on and read the info tab. And then you will see the address, and there's pricing, and then there's descriptions as well.
All right, sounds excellent. So lastly, we're going to throw it over to Marita. I know you don't work in a salon, but you do represent a product. So tell us a little bit about that.
So Curls, you can find us at curls.biz. We actually sponsor a lot of events. We can come out to your natural hair show or event, and we can actually do hair demos, show you how to properly care for your hair, give you hair styling tips as well. Also, aside from that, I am an author of The Girly Girl's Guide to Living a Fabulously Fulfilled Life. You can find it on Amazon.com. Also, my website is meritabayati.com, MERIETABAYATI.com. You can find me on all social media at MERIETAB. So that's Merita B. Okay, hit me up.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot one thing. I forgot to say about my experience. I give a great shampoo. You could get anywhere from an hour, 30 minutes to hour 45 with a deep condition for your silk press. That's my most popular service, but I don't only silk press. I do natural hairstyles too, and I do weaves. And what else I want to say? I'm saying the products are quality. I like design essentials, and I do textures that people are scared of. So the tight, kinky hair, so-called 4C, come on down.
All right. Is there anybody's hair you guys don't do, and how do you guys work with kids?
I do it all.
I like kids.
I just don't do dreads, and I choose not to do box braids. I don't like braiding.
Oh, I'm
individually.
The
Yeah.
same way.
I don't do extensions.
I don't feel proficient in highlights.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, if you contact the ladies and they're going to tell you what they do and don't do. It seems like the consensus is braiding, because that takes long. So you won't get out the chair in an hour and a half.
Not with braids.
With braids, you might have to go up to Harlem and get that done. There's a lot of African shops up in Harlem. They actually out on the street. So you walk by, they'll just grab you and pull you in.
Yeah.
And we can get your hair braided up in Harlem. And that's supporting Black business as well.
And one other thing, a lot of people discriminate against kids. I do children because they do grow up to be young women. And that's a lifetime customer.
And I also I like giving young girls a nice experience in the salon. Like a lot of the kids that I've done, it's been their first time in the salon ever. So I like to show them like it doesn't have to be a waiting game. You're here all day. Like it can be a pleasant experience, and you don't have to be scared of getting your hair done.
They need a trim too.
Right.
All right, so we are about to wrap this up. I want to thank the ladies for coming on to the broadcast and educating us about Black hair and the hair care industry and giving us their opinions and their experiences, sharing that with us, which is very important. Again, I'm pro Black hair, and I want a community of ladies to be that way, but I do understand the need for versatility, and also there's some special needs when it comes to hair, cancer, things like that, so you might want to change things up, which I get 100%. Not knocking that. Also, make sure you guys go out and support the Curls product line. They have a lot of different products for your hair.
Absolutely.
Is it just for curly hair or straight hair also?
No, curly and natural, kinky, all the hair types.
All right,
and
so-
we also have a kid and toddler line.
All right, there you go. So they got kids, toddlers,
Everything's natural and organic.
and it's natural and organic.
smells
So you
good too.
won't
Okay.
organic. So you won't damage the scalp, which is a beautiful thing. We have 20 minutes left on the show. I want to remind you guys to go to blackpillradio.com, There you will find links to all our social media. So click on those links, support us, subscribe to our channel, like, share, and let your peoples know that we do our show every first and third Sunday of the month. And we will see you next month in August. Take care.